Good evening, namaste. It's been quite some time since I've done a talk. It's also been quite some time since I've taken a journey or a road trip. So I've come over to the UK and I've met up with three wonderful soul sisters that I've met via Facebook. And the synchronicity and the timing couldn't have been better. There was various things exchanged and understood and information that was required that thankfully I was able to deliver to assist mind expansion and more conscious awareness. At this time, I also became very aware in other areas where paranoia and suspicion is still absolutely rife in the world of illusion. It just makes me realize quite how many people are totally and utterly out of balance and living in the shadow thinking, not able to think for themselves, not able to rationalize or to understand energy in any way. For the first friend who invited me to stay, Janet, thank you, she had her horses stabled and in fields and stables that she rents, and she'd asked the lady who owns the stables if she could bring me along to meet her ponies, and the woman was totally in the negative straight away, saying no, 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 no. The condemnation of meeting somebody on Facebook, and I might rob her. There's nothing, lady, you have that I could possibly want. And for her not, Janet was able to judge my character over a period of time, obviously years on Facebook, watching the posts that I make and interacting, etc. Then I went along and connected with another lady, told her I was passing her way, would she like to meet up? This was Jean, and Jean invited me to stay also. And we had the most wonderful evening of sharing. The wavelength was just so in tune with each other. And again, I assisted her in a few areas that she was not in awareness of, but was obviously ready to receive that information. And then I drove on to meet Denny and Lottie, this little staffy dog, and her beautiful owner, guardian, should I say, Denny, and we spent several days in the same environment, and it wasn't a large environment, but we adjusted to each other's energy effortlessly, and that's what I found out about this journey with me, in what had changed within me since I last travelled. The last time I travelled really for any length of time was to Mexico in 2014. I have found that I'm very much non-attached to things now, and I do not have expectations, because things did change on this journey. Arrangements that had been made were altered, and I adapted. I chose not to allow it to bother me, and just went with no plan for the first week, you know, other than to just go, travel. That's when I connected with the first two ladies. I wouldn't have met up with them otherwise, Janet and Jean. Um, and we spent some wonderful time together. Really beautiful, three very beautiful soul sisters I met on this journey, you know. I have other wonderful soul sisters out there that I haven't met yet in America and various other places in the world. But I haven't met any in my home environment in the sense of there was a two-way meeting. I still find Ireland very much, you know, in the spiritual aspect, everyone's a teacher. You're invited along to their classes, you're invited along to their groups, but so far no one has considered meeting me just for the sake of meeting and sitting down, you know, and sharing. For I don't have anything that I need to learn in the spiritual aspect from humans. My soul is advanced to a stage where I know there isn't anyone in this planet that spiritually would know more than I know. Any information I receive, I've been receiving it directly from source, and guidance for quite some time now. But it would be nice to meet those who are fairly like-minded. I am aware that I'm pretty advanced at this stage, so there's very few people that I can meet who's on a similar level or vibration. And it's unfortunate that those few the world over are busy. We're always too busy, you know. I don't have time to be busy. We should be meeting. We should be greeting. We shouldn't be allowing, at this stage of our evolution, we should not be allowing money to stand in the way of communicating. You know, if you can't communicate with me without having a price tag on it, then I don't really wish to meet you in the first place. That's where I'm at. There's teaching to be done, of course, but I have found that there are so very few, so very, very, very few who put service to humanity before money. If I can help you in any way that will assist your evolution, whether that be dietary advice, whether it be spiritual advice, whatever, I find I cannot allow money to stand in the way of delivering that. I do believe we absolutely and utterly need to be getting into time banking or exchanging something with each other. Time banking is a very good way of bypassing finance. I do very much think bartering as well. There should be a lot more now of exchanging services, you know, what I can do for you and what you can do for me, and bypassing this money nonsense. I've also found the money-driven people are not as spiritual as they make out to be. You know, I have not found them to be beyond the ego. Any. So we want to bring ourselves more into heart. Humanity has drifted so very far out of heart. Okay, you've been educated out of heart as well. You've been educated into business, having a business mindset, having a hierarchy, having everything that is against the absolute nature of our souls. However, it's time to start reversing this trend which has gone on for way too long. We're now 4 years into the age of Aquarius, where the sun is in the constellation of Aquarius, which galactically speaking really is only 4 minutes. Still, there is much to be done. There is much to be done. When I do venture out, I see most people are still very lost and out of heart, confused. They can't think for themselves. Many still having to be told how to think. This is what happened. We handed over our power, and look where it's got us. With the food we're eating, with medication, with all sorts of stuff. We've lost our internal navigation system. We've forgotten everything that's inside us to guide us. We need to get back to that balance. We need to be operating with our pineal gland fully opened and intaking the universal life force via that sun, taking our instruction via the sun from the universe. We need to be guided, our vitality and energy from our sun center of our own internal solar system, which is the 7 chakras, which are in total connection, each chakra with each planet and luminary in our solar system. That is the moon, a luminary, Mercury, Venus, the sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. It's all mapped inside us. Connected to each of those planets is a colour, is a ray, like the rays of the rainbow. The colours that stream through the sun, that is all our planets. We are the universe. Inside each of us, if we could remember and bring ourselves back to that power, we are the universe out having individual experiences in the world of duality and polarity. Every single star and every constellation in our universe is mapped through our body. 12 signs of the zodiac, from Aries in the head right down to Pisces in the feet. Every day the sun passes through from 6 o'clock. Every 2 hours it passes through one of the signs of the zodiac until it scans our entire body through a 24-hour period. We need to get back to understanding this wisdom and knowledge and starting to pay attention and adjusting ourselves to that. We are not a physical and a material being. We happen to be a spiritual being in a physical body, which is the carriage for the lessons that we need to learn to resurrect our soul back to its highest and its full potential. Each of those planets in the universe, in our solar system, bestowed a gift or investment or raiment upon our soul. We have to remember the power of each of these planets in ascending order, not in the negative but in the positive, and start becoming that, operating by universal law, the law of nature, to be our highest supreme Godhead, to be operating from love absolute, love, light and truth absolute, then we are at our most powerful. This will happen for the mass of humanity as we shift further into this age, but it will take quite some time yet. You know, by what I've seen out there in this latest travel, there's still a lot of work to be done. But as Manly P. Hall says, we can neither hasten the gods nor can we retard them. Everything is happening exactly and precisely as by the position of the sun within this planet, this constellation, in this age. Some of us are more advanced than others. That just means we're older souls, completing or almost at the completion of this earthbound journey. Many are still at the earlier stages of their earth travel, so they still have many more signs of the zodiac to travel around. And knowing where you are yourself within the journey is what we need to know, and to take the steps to adjust and advance our soul. The only way we can leave this earth plane for a final time is to bring yourself into your highest and your full potential. Okay, that's enough for now. I can find out how to turn it off. May already be off.